chiropractic balance, what we understand is that the more balanced your musculoskeletal system is, the better your brain can run your body. So one of the postures that we spend a lot of time in is sitting at a desk, well, a lot of people do. So there's a few things to think about when you're sitting at a desk, and the first is basically trying to maintain a good posture while you're at that desk. So when we look at a spine from the side, this is ideally what it should look like. We should have a curve in the low back, a curve in the middle back, and a curve in the neck, and be nice and balanced across our hips. So when we're looking at our postural setup, the first thing we have a look at is the feet, either flat on the floor or they can be slightly elevated to show us that on a footrest. The angle in your knee right here is around 90 degrees to 110 degrees. And then as we come up further, we have the angle in the hip. And this chair is at a great height for Matt. It keeps his hip at about that 90-degree angle. An even better chair would have a height adjustable thing so that you can make sure that you get it at the right height for you. As we come further up the spine, we want to make sure we keep a curve in your lower back, as we demonstrated with the spine before, keeping that curve in the low back. So as you can see Matt right now, he's right up against the back of this chair, which helps keep that curve in his low back. What we see a lot of the time, shuffle forward and show us, when people sit at the front of their chair, that often they can slouch. So when you slouch, it puts a lot more pressure on that low back and can lead to problems in that area. So sitting right up against the back of your chair is a great idea. Another option is you can get a lumbar roll, something that wraps around the back of your chair, and then come and sit back against there. Get it in the right position for your curve, that keeps that curve. These can also be used in your car. You can sit on chairs without backs, like exercise balls or backless chairs, and then it's just your responsibility to keep yourself upright, so you need a little bit more core with that. As we come further up the spine, the next thing we see a lot is maintaining that curve in your neck. So, ideally, your screen should be at about eye level so that you can see his ear is over his shoulder. A lot of the times what we see with a lot of laptops is that people's head comes forward, which puts a lot of pressure on the shoulders, on the head, and pulling down into the low back, looking a lot more like this in the body. So a lot of the times you can get something like a separate monitor, you can get little stands for your computers, or you can get a separate keyboard so that you can keep your computer screen up here. If you're on your phone for 5 minutes, that's not the problem, but if you're sitting in this posture for an hour or more, then we need to get that screen at the right height for you. So the height of the desk should be, when you have your arms sitting on it, that they're at approximately a 90-degree angles. You could have armrests underneath there. We just want to make sure that if those armrests are too high, we end up hunching our shoulders. We want to make sure our shoulders are nice and relaxed. So armrest or no armrest, with the desk at the right height, that your arms are about 90-degree angles. With your wrist as you come forward, if you're on a keyboard or something like that, often having a little rest under your keyboard helps keep a nice flat angle of that wrist, so we don't have our wrists in that bent angle all day. So the second part of our posture is making sure that we keep our bodies as active as possible. Our spines aren't actually designed to sit, so what can you do in a sitting posture that keeps your body as active as possible? The first thing is, you can have something like this, which is called a posture cushion, and you can place something like this under your feet. With your feet on a slightly unsteady base, it just keeps those muscles active. Take that one out now. Another place you can put it is under your seat, which this is kind of a mini version of what an exercise ball or a Swiss ball does, and it keeps those glute muscles having to activate rather than stagnant sitting on a flat surface. The third thing that you can do is take posture breaks. So a posture breaks, if you take both of your hands, Matt, and take them out to the side and bend over that chair, you reverse the effect of sitting, and you hold that for 10 to 20 seconds, and then it also helps you reset your posture back to that ideal alignment. If you are sitting for long periods, it's a great idea to get up and walk at least every hour. So, because when you stand up, it activates all the intrinsic muscles of the spine and gets everything firing again. As a lot of people are aware, it's becoming very popular to have stand-up desks. In the ideal world, we would stand for 3 times as long as we sit. So if you come up to a standing desk, all of the same principles apply. You want to have your arms at that level, and the desk would be at the same height for Matt, that he can maintain all of the same posture going on. So that's most of the principles of making sure that we keep our bodies as active as possible and we maintain our good alignment while we're at our desks, because pretty much sitting for the spine is like sugar to the teeth. So your job now is to go apply some of these principles as creatively as you can in your workplace to maximise the function of your spine and nervous system, even though you have a desk-bound job.